Yo, let's get into these faction focuses, and we'll start, as always, in alphabetical order with Stormcast Eternals. Faction focus. There's some art here. The Storm Incarnate. The Stormcast Eternals. Enhance. The Stormcast Eternals are demigods clad in gleaming Sigmarite armor. Each one is a mighty warrior plucked from their moment of death and reforged on the anvil of apotheosis by the God King himself, transformed into immortal heroes and sworn to protect the mortal realms from the depredations of chaos. They arrive on bolts of divine lightning, dispatched to fight Sigmar's gravest battles. When they die, and die they do, for the mortal realms are full of terrors. Their souls return to Wazir to be reforged anew. They pay a hefty price for this immortality as their souls erode from each reforging, slowly losing shreds of their humanity. Deborah Hadations. Deborah Hadukins. Despite this, the Stormcast Eternals fight on to secure a future for the faithful of Sigmar, the will of the Heldenhammer made manifest. In our first faction focus, we find out exactly how these tireless champions of order do battle in the upcoming edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. They sound cool. They are. Didn't start that way. But, just like No Man's Sky and Final Fantasy XIV and Cyberpunk and all the rest, rocky start, got good. Overview. Stormcast Eternals are separated into Stormhosts, each one an autonomous military organization with its own history, heraldry, and fae-voured ways of war. These are led by a Lord Commander and his Command Echelon, who preside over various chambers, tactical formations, which each have their own battlefield role. The warrior chambers are the most common of these, deploying liberators as an unyielding bastion to hold the front line and annihilators to pulverize enemy lines like living meteors. They are joined by the likes of the vanguard chambers, forward scouts, and fast cavalry who range ahead of the main host, and the extremist chambers who ride really stupid-looking draconic beasts, emphasis mine, into battle, plus various other more specialized formations. The latest of these to be called into action are the Ruination Chambers, roused from their bleak citadels. This is capitalized, so I'm guessing this is a proper noun. Quiet monasteries in which elite veterans and hundreds of conflicts reside in a life of quiet contemplation. It must be. It's kind of like me. On the verge of losing themselves completely to the curse of reforging, they have been called into action once again to combat the resurgent Skaven menace, using skills honed across centuries of fighting. Beyond their own skill, the Stormcast employ the aid of numerous beasts. Grief creatures become loyal mounts and companions, while through a long-standing alliance with the offspring of the god beast Dracothion, Sigmar's finest fight alongside Draconith comrades. Let's take a look at the battle traits. Alright. Stormcast Eternals can use following abilities. Some of this stuff we've seen via Spearhead, but let's take it in. Now you want to know what deep mysteries Heywoah contemplates? That's for me. That's me time. But also a lot of walks common Japan and just talking to the chat. Demigods clad in refrigerator worth of metal descending from the sky, riding heavenly lightning from Sigmar's own hand. AOS is sweet. True. I'm actually working on that new video. It should be done in 4 years. Anyway, deployment phase, we got Declare. If there are more friendly Stormcast on the battlefield than there are set up in reserve, pick a friendly Stormcast Eternal unit that has not been deployed and set it up in reserve. Well, in the Celestial Realm, we call it funny stuff, right? But so you could half army Deep Strike, just how you used to. But interestingly enough, there's more than just like kind of one thing here, which is a fresh change. There's a lot of orb pondering. There is orb pondering. Your movement phase, Signs of the Storm. Set up the unit anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 from all enemy units. Yep. Pick a friendly Stormcast Eternals unit that is in the Celestial Realm Your movement phase. Doesn't say once, right? Doesn't say once per turn. So it seems to me that you can... It seems to me that you can just deep strike as many of these guys that are in the Celestial Realm as you wish per movement phase, which is nice. I don't see any limit on this, but before there was a limit in the core rules, so there might still be, as to how late in the game you can drop the stuff down, you know? It also says your movement phase, not like end of movement phase or whatever. We'll have to check the core rules to say what to see when exactly you move. I know the combat phase is itemized out. All your abilities first, only then do you fight. I don't think the other phases work like that. I believe the combat phase is special, but again, we're kind of going to have to see everything. We'll check the core rules to see if a unit is set up in reserve, if they're destroyed when it comes to Battle Round 4 like they used to be. If there's a universal rule that says if you are set up, you can't then move, and it's just in the core rules somewhere. Or if you can move after your deep strike. It's hard to tell. I'm leaning on the side of, for sure, no way are they going to let you move after a deep strike. That's insane. That's like game-breakingly strong. And every time they've ever accidentally done it in the past, they have fixed it. But, I don't know, it's a new edition. Who knows what they're going to do. I would expect not to be able to. All this being standardized as reserve means there's probably just a section called reserved in the core rules. Yeah, I would expect that. Once per battle, your movement phase. Command point up here. Chat's kind of hiding it a little bit, but it's worth a command point. And command points are really powerful now, and you only have a few of them. Heaven Sent. Pick a friendly non-unique Stormcast Eternal that also is infantry or cavalry. So no monsters, no named anything. And it has to have started the battle with 2 or more models. And it has been destroyed. So no heroes. Heroes are just out. Well, not entirely. Heroes are out. I could imagine a hero that's not unique, but has like a companion that counts as a model instead of a token. I don't know, maybe. But in general, infantry or cav, no named people, probably not any heroes. Once per battle. Set up a replacement unit with half the number of models from the target unit rounding up, more than 9 for all enemy units. They come down on bolts. All right. So far, all dog-type units are explicitly labeled as tokens. I did notice that, too. Yeah, all the funny guys or the little dogs or a rat or some crab. Even the Remembromancers, the Rememborors, whatever they're called, those guys count as tokens as well, not necessarily models. You missed this, I guess. What's a token? It's a physical representation on the board, but it doesn't count as a model. You can't really interact with it. It's just a cool little thing that has a model. And you usually remove it to do something. I know the Remembromancers are that. And then some of the other things are too. Yeah, the Memorians. I can't remember their real name. armies that let you use a command without a command point being spent, or using one command point more than once seem to be gone. So it does seem to be true that command points will be very limited. Yeah, I think they want you to make some hard choices there, but most of the commands that we've seen are real strong. They matter, which is good. I'll take that. Once per turn army your hero phase their finest hour. And this used to be a core rule, and now it's not. Now it's a Stormcast only rule, which I actually, yeah, okay. I did get tired of fighting against guys that had essentially 2-up saves even against Rend 2. And every single army being able to all-out defense no matter what. Every single thing that was important that you fought every turn. Oh, it just so happens to be this guy's +1 armor. Finest hour, every hero is another +1. Mystic Shield is another +1. There was a lot of armor stacking in third, which made Rend particularly weak in third compared to previous editions. And so now moving forward, at least from what they've shown us, Rend tends to be down a bit, but armor stacking tends to be way down. And so, you know, this is just about the water level, really. I'm fine with Rend going down a little bit if it matters more, right? It would be nice to get away from all the obligatory all-out attack, all-out defense. Yeah, it felt like a little bit of a call and response, right? I'm going to attack this guy, all-out attack. Okay, all-out def. Just whatever the most important combat was, every single turn, 10 times in a row, yeah. Anyway, finest hour. Pick a friendly Stormcast Eternals unit. Not hero, like in 3rd edition. A unit. Once per turn army, your hero phase. You have to pick your hero phase, right? And it only lasts for the turn. It's not going to be on your opponent's turn. It's only on your turn. That's the balancing factor of finest hour. Is that when it's your turn, Stormcast guys are not going to be finest houred. Which is good. Add 1 to wound rolls for the unit's combat attacks, and add 1 to save rolls for that unit. So I think this is very nice and flavorful and heroic and cool. Good work on the Stormcast. If anybody gets to keep some of the armor stacking, it makes sense for Stormcast, it makes sense for Nurgle, it makes sense for maybe Fire Slayers, although they can get durability in a different way. Definitely Slaves to Darkness, you know. OBR for sure, you know. I'm fine with keeping a decent amount of armor stacking or super durability just on the armies that it makes sense for as one of their things. Yeah, also, no, yeah, I pointed that out, but it bears repeating. Unlike in 3rd edition, this isn't hero. This is any unit. You know, big dragon, 10-man unit of 10-man unit of like Liberators, a 6-man unit of Annihilators with the big pound hammers. Just whoever. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Now, why don't I think that's overpowered? Because it's only on the Stormcast player's turn. It's not on my turn. On my turn, the dinner bell, the dinner bell's going off. You don't get finest hour on my turn when I'm attacking you. Just on your turn, you're probably not going to have any casualties, or you're going to reduce them. That's fine. It's flavorful, it's strong, but it's not like it lasts during the opponent's turn or anything like that. Those warriors, whose role is to hold ground, to call upon increased resilience and ferocity in their finest hour, aka best day ever. Supported by Heaven's Sent, reinforcements as fallen warriors are replaced with a clap of righteous thunder. In all, example of a faction-specific command ability. Hey, thanks a lot. Battle formations. Each faction begins the new edition with a faction pack. It provides a choice of 4 battle formations, which work like the sub-faction rules of old. Okay, so battle formations are sub-factions. I've been trained over the last 7 years to say sub-faction over and over, just like I have been trained to say mortal wound over and over, and I have to switch to mortal damage, and now I have to switch to battle formations. So out with the old, in with the new. These encourage you to build and play your army in a certain manner to benefit from specific bonuses. Many storm hosts will fight either as a thunderhead host or a lightning echoline. But when the Ruination Chambers were pressed into battle, they often march as Sentinels of the Bleak Citadel. Okay? And so this is Sentinels of the Bleak Citadel. This is what subfactions are now. Tension 8105, thanks to the tier 1 for 36 months. Appreciate it. Your comment is big, big, big. Great comment. Very insightful. Anyway, thanks for the sub. On Twitch. Once per turn army, any hero phase. So either mine or yours. Ancient Torah. Pick a friendly Ruination Chamber unit. That unit has a ward 5 up for the rest of the turn. So every turn, my turn and your turn, each one throughout the whole game.
Twitch Prime.
Some Ruination Chamber gets a 5 up ward. Huge. Okay, Stormcast. Stormcast looking big. Very durable. Finest hour for +1 save on your turn. Everybody starts at 3 up save anyway. Some of them on 2 up save. One of your Ruination guys has a 5 up ward basically every turn. Kind of a big deal. And it's so weird seeing Stormcast get abilities that are cool and interesting. And like good. I think new players won't know. Like they won't know. Because you would think it's a Games Workshop game, and so the poster child army always is overpowered and has the strongest rules, but that's almost never been the case. Stormcast have generally, if we're talking averages, they're usually light on rules and not very good in general. So this is a change of pace. I'm not complaining. But Pixel Gee, thanks for the big prime, appreciate it. For 5 months on Twitch. Can't believe Heywoah gave us 4 instead of 1 subfaction. I mean, I think 4 is a little low. We used to have 6. But angry 40k people tell me that you guys only had 1 subfaction when your indexes came out. Which is hell as shit and also lazy. A little stingy as well. But we used to have 6, and if we don't have 6 still, then I will slightly complain about it anyway. It's almost like they hired some kind of design. Yeah, I guess so. Fridge fully stocked with beef. So, my family's looking for beef. Gee, Billy, how come G-Dub lets you have 4 subfactions? I'll tell you when you're older. Their centuries of death and resurrection might cost the Ruination Chambers their memories and passions, but their ancient Torah of storm-charged energy lets them shrug off physical attacks and spells by granting a ward 5 up. It's great. 5 up ward's great. It's only Ruination Chamber, guys. You know, and it's only 1 per, but it's every turn. It can last forever. That shit is great. Each faction pack also has 3 heroic traits and 3 artefacts of power to choose from. These can be taken by any hero, adding extra layers of flexibility and tactical choice to your list building. Oh, hell yeah. Each faction pack also has 3 traits and 3 artefacts of power. These can be taken by any hero. Now, I don't want to get everybody's hopium up, but they didn't say a unique named hero can't take it. Now, maybe they wouldn't say something like that. It's just an article. We got to look at the rules. But if you want just a little bit of dangerous hopium, they did just say hero. They could have typed non-unique hero or non-named hero. Any hero? Any hero, like maybe even an ally? What about an ally hero? What about a coalition hero? What about a pen pal hero? A mercenary hero? An army of renown? Anyway, probably not. But we'll see. And before allies are removed from the game. Good. Arcana and incantation. Spells, prayers, and manifestations can change. The tide of battle. And each faction pack comes with lores and to expand your supernatural options. Some have a spell lore, some have a prayer lore, others have both. And some factions also come with a manifestation lore. Some factions come with a manifestation lore, not all. Stormcast Eternals have an abundance of priests, and the blessed weapon prayer is key to getting the most out of this elite army. Pen Pal Hero does sound really cute. It sounds good. Maybe the octopus from IDK, that guy has a stylus. Your hero phase CX. Oh, this is the triangle. Sorry, the diamond shape, which is the prayer thing. Bless weapons. Must be on infantry specifically, holier than 12. You need a 6, which means you probably won't do it, but the way prayers work, every time you fail, you get to add your thing to the total, and you can build up to it, right? In fact, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of the target's melee weapons until the start of your next turn. Until the start of your next turn. Ooh. You gotta read this now, because a lot of stuff no longer does that, no longer lasts until the start of your next turn. +1 attack's characteristic is a great buff. This is better than Blessed Weapons has ever been. If the chanting roll is 12 or up, that's a lot. This ability affects all visible friendly Stormcast Eternals holier than 12 with a chanter instead. Big. Alright. Yeah, Blessed Weapons has historically been like, oh, your 6s proc an extra hit, or maybe your 6s do something or whatever. +1 attacks characteristic. Strong buff. Even on infantry. Affecting like everyone. It's not like way better. I mean, you probably get 2 units out of the deal. I suppose, and the Blesser themselves. No, yeah, this is good. What a nice buff. Nice, solid buff. Good work. Yeah, it's a Stormcast Blood Secrator. It's an Azir Secrator, if you will. Foot heroes are infantry, yes. Yes, they are. A Storm Secrator. You mean it gets it on non-infantry? Yes. So, if you want to... You still, in the declare, you still have to pick an infantry. But you can pick yourself, even if there's no others around. If you're planning on getting a 12 and cashing in all your points. And then it targets any friend, Stormcast Eternal. Doesn't have to be infantry at that point. Yeah, the 12 up affects non-infantry as well. But for the declare, you still do have to target infantry. But you can target yourself. Because if you're a foot priest, then you count as infantry, and then you can target yourself and so on. So it looks like it'll still work out. That one hero that heals itself when it kills something is about to go crazy. There are times when the secondary effect is like your whole army. Yeah, it depends. You could be in the center of the table. 12 inches is a pretty big circle. You could fit a bunch of stuff on it, especially late game when a lot of stuff is dead. So we have good sub-faction ability, good battle traits, good priest buff. It's high though. Look at this. Chances are very low that you'll get this turn 1. You got to build up some prayer points first, or be running a bunch of priests or something like that. But it's a great buff. So, and who knows what kind of bonuses to prayers and stuff you get. Unit focus. When the severity of a threat demands the most powerful response, a Stormhost may battle alongside Kondas, son of Dracoon, a venerable sorcerer Drake who once ruled an empire that spanned nearly all of Gur. And I've always found his war scroll to be generally disappointing. And either his war scroll disappointing or his point cost too high, or both. One of the two. Nowadays, chilling on 20 wounds. That's a lot of wounds. 20 wounds. 12-inch move. 3-up save. 5 control. Blazing Tempest. A single attack at range 12. Well, I guess it is a single attack. It's a breath weapon, right? 2s and 3s rend 2 damage 4 to 6. And he can shoot it in combat because it's a breath weapon. Now, I just want to emotionally prepare some Stormcast players. If you have a single attack and it looks good, like it hits on 2s and 3s, rend 2, like that looks good, but it's only one attack. You'd be surprised how often this statistically will fail. So don't get yourself set up where it's like, oh, obviously this hits. Chill. Actually, Stormcast players know this already. Some Sylvaneth players do as well, but I don't know. Maybe for new players. Next up, melee weapons, Apex Mar. Now it has a little skull next to it. That's how they denote the wounds now. Battle damage. When you're at half life, you just change this. I really like them getting rid of a giant stupid table every iteration of 3 different amounts of wounds on the thing all the way down, and it had like 4 characteristics that all changed. You had to memorize a goddamn table. I'm glad we've done away with that. Great work. It's just like, when you're at half life, do one thing. Good. Also, movement speed does not go down. You'll love to see it. That was super annoying as a monster player. It's nice. It's fine that it's just a light switch. Are you battle damaged or not? Are you wounded or not? Easy. Anyway, Apex Mom. 4 attacks, 3s and 2s. 2 rend damage 4. Nice. Anti-infantry +1 rend. So rend 3 damage 4 against infantry. Apex Maw is a great weapon. 4-3-2-2-4 is excellent. And then 6 attacks on the claws, 3-2-2-2. It's also great. Yeah, this guy slaps. He slaps shit. He still has Regalia Fulminatarius, or whatever made up word. Add 2 to casting rolls for this unit. He is a wizard 2, so he's a level 2 wizard with +2 to cast. Nice. Pretty good caster. Actually, very good caster, I should say. His rampage, any combat phase, is Roar. Pick an enemy unit, roll a die on a 3-up, cannot use commands. Alright, it's Roar. Everybody used to have Roar. Clearly we don't have Roar anymore, but he does. This ability is better and worse, it looks like, moving into the new edition. It used to be the case that Roar was the best one because it stops people from all-out defense. And every single time you fought anything, they're just like, +1 armor. So Roar gave you a 2 in 3 chance of essentially getting the equivalent of +1 rend, because your opponent doesn't get +1 armor from it. Now I think all-out defense is going to be a lot more rare. We'll see what eventually everybody decides to use their command points on, what few they have. After a month or so, everybody will be like, oh, you just use it on this, you just use it on that, or whatever, right? But whatever command point they might have wanted to spend in the combat phase is going to be way more powerful now. So overall, good work. And Atavistic Tempest. Your hero phase casts on an 8, but for you it's kind of a 6. Pick a visible enemy unit with an 18. Great range. 18 is a good range on a spell. Pick one of the following effects. Either -1 from hit rolls or -1 from their rend, or -1 from their save rolls. I'll give you a hint. It's -1 from their save rolls. Good spell. That's a good spell. Also flies. The thing Kondas was missing in the past was a ward. Still doesn't have a ward. Concerning. However, what are the types here? Order Stormcast. Warmaster. Can't get the 5 up from the subfaction or from the battle. Hold up. Checking the tapes. Formation. Battle formation. Alright, we are used to looking at a giant monster and seeing that they don't have a 5-up ward and saying that they'll just die. But it's possible that how much damage is a lot of damage and how much damage is not good damage has changed. It could be the water level has moved around. So I'm hesitant to say anything like that at this point. In this edition, it's -1 to hit. So much stuff hits on 4s now. A lot of stuff hits on 4s now. You are right. Finest hour on him still at least. Yeah, you can do that on your turn. Overall, I don't know. I don't know what he costs. I don't know how bad not having a ward is. But 20 wounds, 3 up. Fast flyer. Has a good breath weapon, even if it's a coin flip. Good seeming attacks. High quality attacks. Good spell. +2 caster. Can cast twice. Still has roar. Not bad. I guess we'll just have to see. He doesn't seem insane to me. I'm not blown away. But I don't know enough to say if it's like bad or just okay, or you can play it if you want. Big boy can heal himself with a rally. Big thing to remember with these big guys is that with a lot of wounds, they get the most benefit from the new rally. Being able to heal if your opponent doesn't one-shot you is huge. Yeah, that's true. Okay, they're just like explaining what he does, right? We just looked at it. Dozens of legendary heroes fight for Sigmar, Heldenhammer, though few are as ferocious is Yndrasta the Celestial Spear. Unfortunately, she is bad. But now is the time. Now is the time to make up for your past mistakes. 12-inch flying, 8 health, 3-up save, 5-up ward. Okay. Used to be a 4-up if I recall correctly. Maybe I don't. Alright, but yeah, 5-up ward sounds good to me. She's got Thangavar. Thangavar. Okay. 12-inch range, 1 attack, 3s and 2s to 4. Anti-monster, +1 rend. Big. The Thing Giver. Only 2 attacks, but 2s and 2s, 2-3. With anti-monster, so 3 3s against monster. Blade, the High Heavens, 5, 3, 3, 2, 3. Okay, she's a shit slapper. She hits like almost as hard as this monstrous dragon. And then the Prime Huntress passive. Double the damage characteristic of this unit's Thing Giver. For attacks target monsters. Oh. So 2 attacks, 2s and 2s, rend 3, damage 6 against monsters. And the Hail Mary NFL Blitz 99 play. 1 attack, 3s and 2s, rend 3, damage 8. Jesus. Alright. You're flipping a coin for setting a monster to half-life. Also, it's 12, right? So you can deep strike within 9 and just whip. On Wings of Brilliance, add 1 in the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for this unit to a max of 3. Oh, she can just deep strike and get into combat. She could just make a 9-inch charge. Lands outside of 9, rolls 3d6 looking for a 9. Yndrasta, good. Her War Scroll continues, although it's already good. Dazzling Radiance. Ignore negative modifiers to the control scores of friendly Stormcast Eternal units while they're wholly within 12 of this unit. Whatever. I don't know if that's good or not, and I don't care because the scroll's already great. Does monster ability work in shooting? Yes. Notice how it doesn't say melee. It just says damage characteristic of this unit's then Gehav R. And it has that name up here and down here, so it works on ranged and melee. Counts as infantry. This is great to see. This is wonderful to see because Lady Yndrasta, the model, looks so good. It was in a Dominion starting box. The sculpt is excellent. It looks so good. And I think that sculpts that look really good should also be good. That's sick. Big tomboy mommy monster slayer GF. Stay away from my stone horns. And we'll see how those things turn out. This is great. What an upgrade. Okay, so remember how I was struggling to talk about Kondas? Because I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I just don't know enough yet. And then I scroll down and I'm like, this shit's hot. That's I guess the difference between the two. We don't know what she costs though. We don't know what Kondas costs either. Also remember that Finest Hour means that Spear could be 2 and 2. Finest Hour is +1 to wound. Not to hit. Yeah, he means attack of or every time somebody says AOA, I think attack of opportunity because I'm all out attack, yeah. I don't know if I would spend a command point on a single attack, but I guess if it's a single attack that's rolling up potentially 8 damage, maybe that really does matter that much, actually. Yeah, it's, oh, here's a monster on 7 life. Yeah, maybe I spend a command point. And then I'm a little percentage more into it's fucking dead. Yeah, and ignoring the Prime Huntress for a little bit. Like, you're not always going to be fighting monsters, obviously. Probably the minority of what you do is fight monsters with her. She's still good. She still kind of slaps. And then does a Dazzling Brilliance thing if the control score ends up mattering, and I really hope it does. It would be a pretty good thing for the game if control scores end up really mattering in ways that Bravery really didn't. I think they will. Like, the objectives are smaller, you can fit fewer things on them. If you get a bunch of bonuses to your control score, then even if you only have 1 guy left, he still technically counts as like a 7 or something, maybe. I think they might matter. Anyway, this shit's hot. Very cool. As the Prime Hunters of Sigmar is chosen, Yndrasta must track down and slay the most heinous monsters. Her magical spear, T-Hen-Gav-R, is more than up to the task, dishing out massive damage to gigantic beasts, while her dazzling radiance encourages other Stormcast to give no ground to terrifying foes. Hungry Panda thinks the tier 1. Fridays are big back activities, yeah, for sure. After playing a bunch of Spearhead and several games of 4th in Dallas, hordes are ugly now. They're really hard to clear since you cannot lean on bravery. Okay. You wish they gave Knight Arcanum a different name since Arcanum got purged? Oh, true. Yeah. Coherency is a savage counter. Daisy chains for infantry are just gone. Are just period. Okay. So there's the push and pull of it. Funny how Knight Arcanum went from one of the worst wizards for Stormcast last edition to arguably the best on account of all others got removed, barring Kondas. Who was the worst? Was it the, he was the guy with the Catholic priestly robes, right? The Lord starts with an I think. Yeah, Lord Exorcist, I think was his name, or maybe something else. Was it Lord Exorcist? Okay. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. I'm gonna cut the commercial, BRB. Pardon me for the delay. Coherency now requires you to pull models in coherency when wounds are allocated. If you cannot, you remove models until the unit is coherent, then you continue. So like Daisy Chains are just flat gone. Got it. Switch hats, sure. You played several games of 4th, and Yndrasta is very good. Kondas, not so much. He still just dies too easily. He's also a little too swingy in combat. Okay. It's like kinda maybe what I thought. Which is too bad. Knight Incanter. Knight Incanter was always the best wizard, as far as I was concerned. Because she was a foot hero that was very cheap, like 120 points. And she had an auto-unbind scroll. One of the best foot wizards in the entire game. Geez, almost like top 3 foot wizards in the whole game, I would say. Knight Incanter fucking died. Oh no. Incanter Rip. Oh, was she part of the Sarcosanct? Damn, that would be really sad. Because there was a cute, like, waifu version of her. With a cool pose and everything. Damn. Oh, man. Rest in peace. Now I got myself sad again. Which, let's not forget, for a long time, Stormcast was kind of a penny pincher army. You had to save points wherever you could. Yeah, because all your shit was overpriced. Yeah, I remember that. I remember those years and years. Yeah, the T-posing one was the cool one. You're right, Nizarmore. Knight Arcanum. 6 health, 3 up. He's got a Valedictor's Staff. 3/3/3, 1d3. Anti-manifestation. He's specialized in fighting endless spells. It's actually a cool job. I don't think it's a terrifically useful job. Maybe it will be. But it's a cool job. Indomitable Lore Seekers. Add 1 to casting rolls for this unit when it uses a summon ability, and 1 to banishment rolls. Enemy manifestations cannot pass through or end any move within this unit's combat range. Endless spells, BTFO. Okay. Unless they started that move within the unit's combat range. Got it. Ward of 4 up against mortal damage from... Damn, this guy is a professional endless spell hater. Wizard 1 infantry. Okay. Alright. Remember Kron Spine is a manifestation? Yeah, and endless spells are free now for everybody. I don't know what kind of choose this or that there's going to be, but they supposedly don't have a points cost. So. Interesting. Okay. I may or may not like this guy, depending on what the rest of the rules say and how things shake out. GW said almost all the profiles are the same, just not the rules on the scrolls. Yeah, I remember that. Between Spearhead and normal game. With the ability to engage with manifestations now part and parcel of battle, the Knights Arcanum have a war scroll well suited to the task. They sure do. Including a special ward against mortal damage. Yeah, you're just telling me what I already know. Supremely skilled in both offense and defense. Most Stormcast Eternals can act as the hammer or the anvil. Wrong. And few exemplify this doctrine better than Annihilators. Right. Big. 3 health, 2 up natural save. Jesus. 4-inch move, they're slow. These are essentially dwarves that are 7 feet tall. Also, look at this. Look at this here. Control 1. Here's a super durable, elite, like shit slapper unit. But its control score sucks. It's almost like they're trying to balance the game. So that if you take something that's really good at one job, it sucks at a different job. And it's a 3-man unit besides. Meteoric Hammer. It's got 3 attacks, which means a unit has 9. If there's a unit champion, then they'll have 10. 10 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1, 2. It's a fine number of attacks for a unit of 3. A unit of 3 is a weird number to have as a unit. Most stuff is in units of 5 in the whole game. So it's weird to have a unit of 3. It makes them strange. But 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1, 2. Those are great attacks for foot guys, for sure. These are the shield ones. We don't get to see the Mega Meat Slapper double quarter pounder version. Brace for impact. Any charge phase. Pick an enemy unit that charged this turn and is in combat with this unit to be the target. Roll die for each model in the unit. Any rolls are 6. Target has strike last. Ooh, that's good. This is a really tactical ability. Notice, pick an enemy unit that charged this turn and is in combat with this unit. But they didn't have to charge these guys. So, like, notice it's also any charge phase. So you can, like, you can spend a command point to charge on your opponent's turn and charge a unit that charged one of your other units. And now you get to make those guys fight last out of nowhere. And then both of your guys can attack them. Anyway, it's... Or, you know, somebody charges your Annihilators and you have some sort of chance of making stuff fight last. No, it's good. It's like a reasonably good ability. That sometimes you can perform like the biggest brain gamer move, spending resources and do weird stuff for like a huge tactical advantage and maybe just kill something. And it's, in my head, it seems like a big play, like a big swingy play, which I like having those in the game. Kind of interesting. For Stormcast, the demo game was 2x5 Liberators, 1x3 Prosecutors, 1 Reclusian, 3 Reclusians, 1 Lord Terminus, Lord Veritant, and the new Griff Charger guy. A little bit of a spoiler, but these guys are really good against Nighthaunt. You don't say. And then your movement phase, Blazing Impact. If this unit was set up this turn using Signs of the Storm, specifically using Signs of the Storm, pick up to 3 enemy targets within 10. Roll d3 on a 2-up, inflict an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. This is good. Blazing Impact. Sometimes you'll even be able to hit 2 different enemy units with it. Sometimes. But that's kind of cool. Blaze the impacts. Big question, will there be Hammer Annihilators? For sure, yes. Yeah. These guys have a 2-up save. The one pictured is this. The Grand Slammer guys are, I think, different enough. They're going to have 2 War Scrolls for it. And Brace for Impact, that sounds like a shield guy ability and not a 2-handed hammer kind of guy. I would put it at 99%. I'm so confident that they're going to have 2 different War Scrolls. Because they do right now. And they have different points values besides. When they crash down to the battlefield, their Blazing Impact deals mortal damage to nearby enemy units. Those who carry Mighty Shields instead of Meteor... Oh, yeah, here we go. They literally just tell you. Those who carry Mighty Shields instead of Meteoric Grand Hammers can use them to brace for impact. Okay, just simply confirmed. We got it. Confirmed Meteoric Grand Slammers are a different War Scroll that do different things. Good. Love to hear it. A word from the studio. Look at this fucking Chad back here. I love the banner guys. I think this is probably a lukewarm, perhaps even a cold take, but I want more banner Chad guys in the game, and I want them to be actually useful instead of real bad. Anyway, these guys are big and defensive and really hard to hurt. They fold to mortal damage, but that's Stormcast's weakness, so... Ahem. Banner Ogre to make the boys hungrier. A million years ago, we used to have a banner guy, or Gutbusters did. I think the rule was like, pick something in, I want to say 12 inches or maybe 16, and it did a D3 mortal wounds to it. That was your banner guy in first edition before they retired that thing. Oh, we got a word from the studio. Matt Rose. When developing the new edition, we took the time to rebalance characteristics across the different factions to help everything feel inherently apparent. Just for the miniatures. For the Stormcast Eternals, we meant we could align their save characteristic to the faction to 3 inches, 3+ across the board, with few exceptions such as the Avian Aether Wings who haven't gotten a scrap of armor in them. Combined with the finest hour, this makes Stormcast straightforward but exceedingly resilient army to play with. However, they are not easy to master. The wide roster of units provides plenty of strategic conundrums, and you'll need your decision-making skills to choose which units to hold back and deploy later, knowing to send into battle and what to keep the Celestial Realm for a surgical strike is the key to mastering these Lightning Wreath champions. Okay, nice. Good work. He's practiced this in the mirror. No, I practice it watching Matt Rose. It's a mirror. What's with the hands? Oh, he doesn't know the... Damn. The inside joke meme. Every time Matt Rose has a developer interview, he talks with his hands more than anyone I've ever known. And so we're having fun with it. We're not making fun of Matt Rose. In general, we like Matt Rose. It's just a funny meme. Spearhead Spotlight. Ooh, shit, I don't care. Holy. I mean, I'll look at it, I guess, but... yeah, we saw Prosecutors before. Coherency range of 2. They have 3d6 charge. They don't do great damage, but they're very fast and they fly, which is something Stormcast normally can't do. Okay. Hey, good work. And then there's stuff down here. Like you get a ward of 5 up and then a storm charge ability, and these things are supposedly just for Spearhead, right? So we got the full scroll for these guys. We already know they are cracked in full game. Since they get +1 damage on the charge. Oh, do we? Prosecutors, they get +1 damage on the charge? Is that what I'm reading here? I don't think I have seen the Prosecutor War scroll yet. Is it in Giga? Because then I could just look it up. Is it in Giga? Scrolling up. No, can't find it. You looked at it on stream? Okay. Oh, there we go. 2 health, 3 up, 12 inch, only 1 control score. Oh, charge +1 damage, okay. Once per turn army, reaction, Ruination Chamber, make resistance roll. Oh, they have the resistance roll thing, okay. Add 1 to the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls, yep. Okay. These guys are cool now. These guys are cool now. I did not remember the Prosecutor War Scroll at all. TY for the new posting. Yeah, and I think if they have the Ruination Chamber thing, then they qualify for the 5 up. Yeah, you get a unit of 6 of these. They can have coherency 2. 10 attacks on the charge for 3 of them. Rend 1, damage 2. 3d6 charges, so you can actually drop them and charge them in. Prosecutor's good, question mark? Alright, that's sick. Nice. Nice-oo. Great work. Yeah, 12-inch fly in this army. Alright, big. I like it. I like it, and also good work. And then we got Lord Vigilant. 8 health, 3 up, 12. He has the Hallowed Great Axe, 5-3-3-2-2. Good weapon. And the claws and stuff, 3-4-3-1-2. Okay. Companion. He has the Ruination Chamber roll. Once per battle army, any combat phase. Pick a friendly non-hero Ruination Chamber unit wholly within 12. That unit can use 2 fight abilities. Oh, I remember reading this guy. I remember this. He's the fights twice guy. He's the shit. Yeah. If you're going to hand out a once per game buff, it might as well automatically work and give you fight twice. And sometimes the slow fight twice, like where you strike last the second time, sometimes that's not great. Like if you're in, I don't know, Gloomspite Gits or something, and you have fights twice, but the second one is at strike last, you might just die in between those. Stormcast look to be shaping up so that they won't be dying in between those. Hey, alright. 5 out of 7, Stormcast looking excellent. As far as, like, reading through their stuff and gauging my excitement level, Stormcast are probably at an A. And they've never approached an A before, rules-wise, like excitement level. I'd put them on an A. I don't know how good they're going to end up being. I don't know what the points are going to be like. I don't know if they're going to win a lot. I don't even know all the rules of the game. But, A tier for excitement, that's for sure.